Welcome to section 2.3, complementary and supplementary angles. So complementary angles are two angles that add up to 90 degrees. So two angles are complementary if their measures add up to 90 degrees. So for example, 58 degrees plus 32 degrees is 90 degrees, so angle A and angle B are considered complementary. So let me show you this 58 degree angle added with this 32 degree angle. You can see that they make a right angle or a 90 degree angle, so they are complementary. Now if I give you a complement, I am right. So think of right angle. If I give you a complement, I'm right. So complementary, complement, right. So are these angles complementary? Well, we want to add them together and see if they add up to 90 degrees. So yes, 55 plus 35 is 90 degrees. So yes, these two angles are complementary. Here, let's add together 85 plus 15, and that's 100 degrees. So no, these two angles are not complementary because they do not add up to 90 degrees. One way I like to remember complementary is that you can easily make the C into a 9. So complementary are two angles that add up to 90 degrees. Supplementary angles add up to 180 degrees. So 134 degrees plus 46 degrees adds up to 180. So let me show you. If I put the 134 degree angle here and the 46 degree angle, they add up to 180 degree angle. Okay, so that's supplementary. And the way I like to remember this one is that the S can easily be made into an 8. So that's 180 degrees that they add up to. So are these angles supplementary? Well, we want to add them together and see if they add up to 180 degrees. So yes, these two add up to 180, which means yes, they are supplementary. We have 148 plus 32 degrees. So those also add up to 180 degrees, which means yes, they are supplementary angles. So now we're going to look at some words instead. So angle A is a complement of angle C. This means that the measure of angle A plus the measure of angle C equals 90 degrees. So if they're complements, they add up to 90 degrees. Now we know that the measure of angle A is 47 degrees. So 47 degrees plus the measure of angle C equals 90 degrees. I'm going to subtract 47 degrees from both sides, and we are left with the measure of angle C equals 43 degrees. So just check, 43 degrees plus 47 degrees, does that equal 90? Yes, that's what it means for angle A and angle C to be complements of each other. So here angle P and angle R are supplements of each other. So they add up to, their measures add up to 180 degrees. So angle P is a supplement of angle R. Now we know that angle R is 36 degrees, so let's plug that in for the measure of angle R. And now to solve this equation, we're going to subtract 36 from both sides. And we get that the measure of angle P equals 144 degrees. Okay, do a quick check. 144 plus 36 is 180 degrees. So they are supplements. All right, complementary means that they add up to 90 degrees. So this is a right angle. We know that 7x plus 3x, when I add them together, they're going to sum to 90 degrees. So 7x plus 3x, combine your like terms to get 10x, divide both sides by 10, and we get x equals 9. I just want to note in section 2.2 we talked about segment bisectors. Ray BD is not a segment bisector because 7 times x is not congruent to 3 times x, and they didn't tell me that it was a bisector, and it's not marked in my picture. So just don't get confused with section 2.3 segment bisectors. Adjacent angles share a common side and a common vertex. So angle 1 and angle 2 are adjacent because they share this common vertex right here and this common side. Okay. Adjacent means right next to. So if you were going to park in the adjacent parking spot, you would park right next to me. So in E, angle 1 and angle 2 are not adjacent because they don't share a common vertex and they don't share a common side. Okay. But in F, they do share a common vertex and a common side. Okay, so yes, these two angles are adjacent. In G, they share a common vertex, but they don't share a common side. So here's angle 5, here's angle 6. Well, they share a common vertex, they do not share a common side. So no, these two angles are not adjacent. The reason? They don't share a common side. The congruent complements theorem says that if two angles are complementary to the same angle, then they are congruent. So if angle 1 and angle 2 add up to 90 degrees, and angle 2 and angle 3 add up to 90 degrees, then we know that angle 1 is congruent to angle 3. So basically, if these are complementary and these are complementary, we get rid of the middleman, and we can say that angle 1 is congruent to angle 3. And we can say the same thing about supplementary angles. So if two angles are supplementary to the same angle, then they are congruent. So if angle 4 and angle 5 add up to 180 degrees, and if angle 5 and angle 6 add up to 180 degrees, get rid of the middleman, and we know that angle 4 is congruent to angle 6. Let me give you an example. So let's say angle 4 is 60 degrees and angle 5 is 120 degrees. So we said that the measure of angle 4 plus the measure of angle 5 equals 180. And then we also said the measure of angle 5 plus the measure of angle 6 equals 180. So in order for 5 and 6 to add up to 180 degrees, that means 6 has to be 60 degrees. Okay, and now you can see that angle 4 and angle 6 are congruent. So here they told me that angle 7 and angle 8 are supplementary, and that angle 8 and angle 9 are supplementary. So they're both supplementary to angle 8. So we get rid of the middleman, and now we know that angle 7 is congruent to angle 9. And this is by the congruent complements theorem. And we can abbreviate theorem as THM. So in example 4, if the measure of angle 10 plus the measure of angle 11 is 90 degrees, and the measure of angle 11 plus the measure of angle 12 is 90 degrees, we're going to get rid of that middle man, the measure of angle 11, and now we can say that that angle 10 is congruent to angle 12. And this is by the congruent supplements theorem. And that is all for section 2.3. Remember, complementary angles add up to 90 degrees and supplementary angles add up to 180 degrees.